The woman who forgot her own fire. They say every woman is born with a small flame cupped between her hands, a light meant to guide her through the dark corridors of her own becoming. But somewhere along the way, I traded my flame for a lantern I carried for everyone else. I lit the path for people who never learned to walk beside me. I warmed the rooms where others came to rest while I stood guard at the door. I held the fire steady for those who never once asked if my hands were burning. And slowly, the fire meant for my own warmth thinned to a quiet ember, a faint glow I could barely feel. I used to believe that strength meant fixing every broken thing without letting my fingers tremble. I thought that if I kept burning myself down to ash, I would prove that I was good, that I deserved to be here. Until one evening, fatigue settled into my shoulders like a heavy cloak. I sat alone in the dimness of a house that felt more like a waiting room than a home, surrounded by the silent weight of every promise I kept at the cost of myself. I looked around at my life, a glass of water left sweating on the counter, a book on the table I was too tired to read, a shawl draped over a chair like a forgotten embrace. These things were waiting for me. The world was waiting for me. But I had nothing left to give. In that quiet collapse, I looked down at the curve of my palms, at the cold skin that had spent years keeping others warm. And instead of reaching outward, I finally pulled my hands in close to my own body. I took a breath, not to brace for the next demand, but simply to feel the air inside my lungs. And right there in the dark, the truth of it grazed my skin. I had been living as though my worth was measured by how much I carried, how much I held, how much I gave away. And as this realization settled in me, I saw it so clearly. Tending to my own soul is not a betrayal of anyone else. Tending to my own soul is not a betrayal to anyone else. And with that single breath of permission, the faint ember stirred, a small, steady glow returning to its rightful place. I looked at the shimmering light in my hands and knew I was never meant to be the fuel for everyone else's lives. So now, I tend to my flame with still mornings and unhurried breaths. I protect it with boundaries that do not apologize for existing. I let the world find its own lantern when my own spirit needs nourishing. And gently, over many small returns, the woman who forgot her own fire becomes the woman who burns again. Not for others, but for herself.